This meeting is being recorded.
While we wait for additional people to sign into the meeting, I think we can go ahead and have our interpreters just give their introductions. As usual, we have Arabic, Mandarin, and Spanish interpretation at our meeting tonight. You should see video of these interpreters, and you should see their names in the participant list. The interpreters will now give instructions on how to dial into the language lines if you need that service. So could our Arabic interpreter please introduce yourself?
نرحب بالسادة الراغبين في الاستماع للترجمة باللغة العربية. للاستماع إلى خط الترجمة الفورية باللغة العربية يرجى الاتصال بالرقم 347-966-4114 وبعد ذلك إدخال الرمز 763-761-92 وبعد ذلك علامة الهاشتاج أو الشباك وبعد ذلك يجب تفعيل زر الكاتم الصوت. ومرة أخرى للاستماع إلى خط الترجمة باللغة العربية يرجى الاتصال بالرقم 347-966-4114 وبعد ذلك إدخال الرمز 763-761-92 وبعد ذلك علامة الشباك. Arabic announcement has been completed.
Thank you. Could our Mandarin interpreter please introduce yourself?
各位家长，大家好。今天晚上我们是有中文华语翻译的服务的。如果你想收听华语翻译，请拨入电话号码347-966-4114。今天晚上的密码是950-950-498，然后按井字。如果你想收听翻译，请留在这个 Zoom 会议室上，以便在电脑上收看会议。请把你的电脑和电话都调到静音，然后在你的电话上拨入华语专线，重复一遍。华语翻译的电话号码是347-966-4114，并输入密码950-950-498，然后按井字。Thank you， 谢谢。
Thank you. And could our Spanish interpreter please introduce yourself?
Buenas noches a todos. Yo, Marisela, junto a Simon, estaremos ofreciendo servicio de interpretación en español. Por favor, marque al 347-966-4114. Ingrese el número de conferencia 625-486-247, símbolo numeral. Si desea escuchar audio en español, pero desea permanecer en esta sala de conferencia para poder ver la reunión usando su computadora, silencie su computadora y el volumen y marque su teléfono a la línea de conferencia en español, que es el 347-966-4114. Ingrese el número de conferencia 625-486-247, símbolo numeral. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now I'm going to take roll call attendance for the special meeting. Unless Joyce, you're here. Joyce, can you take roll call, please?
Yes. Give me one. Yeah, sorry. Background screaming. And this is Joyce. So we're gonna call special meetings. Steve Stowe.
Here.
John.
Here.
Elizabeth.
Here.
Joyce here. Mei Fun. She's online yet. Okay. Gao Wenming. Yanqing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maya. Okay. Tamara.
Here.
Thank you. Kevin.
Here.
Thank you. Yeah, floor to you, Steve.
Great. Thanks, Joyce. The agenda tonight is to hear the presentation from the School Construction Authority from Steve Gonzalez on the capital project request process. So Steve, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Steve. And first of all, I'd like to say a very, very happy holiday to each and every one of you that's on the cast tonight. And I'd like to recognize a partner who we work very closely with at DSF. I know she's on this Zoom meeting tonight. Enza Gambino, who's Deputy Director of School Facilities for DSF or District 20. So Enza, thank you for being on here tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I'm going to share my screen at this point. And I'll call up. I assume you can see this. You can share, you can see it. So as you can see, this is CEC 20, December 18th, the presentation on the analysis of the last capital plan. The agenda is the overview of the February 2023 amendment to the fiscal 2020-2024 plan highlights, capacity program, capital improvement, RESOA, MW&LE, LBE, and then our proposed 5-year capital plan for fiscal year 2025-2029, proposed plan highlights, proposed capacity program, comment form, and any questions or comments. So February 2023 amendment to the 5-year capital plan, fiscal year 2020-2024. There's, as you can see, this is the new school over at Angel Guardian Home, PS 676, which will be opening next September. So the 2020-2024 capital plan, total amount is $19.4 billion. Capacity was 7.95 billion. Capital improvement projects were 7.94 billion. And then mandated programs such as electrification, also electrification and accessibility projects, 3.47 billion. So citywide highlights, $7.95 billion capacity, $750 million accessibility, 400 million electrification, which I mentioned before, $1.02 billion in technology, which involves smart boards and any other technological upgrades in the classroom, $317 million alone in TCU removals. Those are the temporary classroom units, and then playground redevelopment of our playgrounds. So capacity program alone in the last 4-year capital plan, new capacity, 5.52 billion. Replacement program, $806 million. Class size reduction, 605 million. Capacity to remove temporary classroom units, 267 million. And then early education, 756 million. Now, District 20 capacity projects. The highlighted ones for District 20 are the ones in green. Those are the ones that are highlighted. I mentioned before the one at PS 676. That's the last one of the highlighted ones. But I'll start off at PS 53 at 67 43rd Avenue. Again,
Steve,
that's opening. Yes, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to sorry to interrupt. Could you zoom in on that a little more?
Oh, zoom in it. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
zoom in a little bit. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt, Steve.
No, that's all right. How am I going to zoom this in? How do I do this?
At the top there where you see where it says 75.2%? Or use the plus sign just to the left of that? In the middle of the screen, upper middle part of the screen.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I get. Hold on 1 second. Oh, I
Sure.
see it. Yes, now I see it. I'll go.
Yeah.
70. Is that a little
to
better?
like
You want me to go? You want to go up a little more?
Go to like 100.
You want to go up to 100? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I guess I can certainly read that better, but now we can't see the whole screen. Anyway.
I'll move over. If I have to move it over, I'll do it. Anyway, so
Yeah.
PS 67, PS 53 is 6740 Third Avenue. Oh, it's not let me do this. I'll come down a little bit. Let me come down. Oh. 75, no, that's still not. I'll go to 75%.
You can type, Steve, you could type like 85 in the box, right? Where it says 75, just double click on that and you could type 85. And then hit enter.
Okay.
A little
All
better.
right.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay. So PS 53 at 6740 Third Avenue, September 2024. IS 82, that's St. Rosalia, at 6315 14th Avenue. That's August 2027. The 4 projects, 2, 3, 4, and 9, they're not cited. I know you got dates there and seats, but we don't have cited, they're not cited seats at this point. IS 322 at 650 86th Street. That's September of next year. The D75 school over at Our Lady of Guadalupe, 132 seats. That's strictly D75 school. That's also next year. And then, as I mentioned before, the Angel Guardian Home. Go to the next screen. Okay, so I've cited some of the projects. The 2 on the top left are Angel Guardian. The one on the bottom is a rendering on the right of PS 53. And that is the actual construction at this time at 53. So, capital improvements. So, how do capital improvements become projects? Now, the projects themselves include exterior masonry, windows, parapets, flood elimination, roof replacement, accessibility projects. Those include new elevators in new buildings, as we have over one of our schools at PS 180, of which one of our principals is on tonight, Mr. Sacco. Our playgrounds, our auditorium upgrades, gymnasium upgrades. Now, how do they become capital improvement projects? Well, there are a number of factors. As I've mentioned in the past, the SCA has a consultant that comes once a year to each and every school citywide. They do what they call a building condition assessment survey. And what they do is that they rate the schools in terms of their condition. And in terms of their condition, they rate them on a sliding scale between 1 and 5, 5 being the worst condition. And based on that assessment survey, capital improvement projects can be developed. We have DSF reported issues. As Enzo will note, if DSF unfortunately cannot handle a capital improvement project, they don't have the funding, they can what we call a red dot the project and refer it to the SCA. Mandated repairs. Again, these are repairs that are mandated and have to be done, and they're required, and they could also be made as a capital improvement project. Reso A projects, which are funded through our city council members, the mayor's office, the borough president's office, and also through state grants, through states, Senate and state assembly, can also be labeled as capital improvement projects. And also projects for capital improvement can be also cited through CEC requests. Okay, District 20 CIP highlights. So during the past, during this current plan that's expiring, we have total estimated costs in terms of school safety. These safety projects, there were 22 of them, but I think the biggest cost tabs were the exterior masonry, or 5 of them totaling over $15 million. We had 2 also categories: boiler conversions, boiler projects, one totaling close to 12 million, 11.6. The other one was 5 accessibility projects, 11.5. I think the next biggest tab was windows. Windows were also, we had 3 window projects, window replacement projects, and they're totaling almost $14 million. Here are examples. We have example PS 112. This is an exterior mason project. It's underway in the district. Resaway, I mentioned it before. There are projects that are school-specific capital improvement or enhancement projects that are funded by members of the New York City Council, the Borough President's Office, or as I mentioned, through individual grants through state legislators or other foundations. District 20 Resaway highlights. I would say the 2 biggest highlights: auditorium upgrades. We've had 15 of them. We just completed one over at PS 185. They totaled a little over $5 million. With technology projects, there were 68 of them in the last capital plan. The one that's expiring, totaling almost $6 million. And then we had 4 playground projects totaling almost $2.7 million. MWLBE. SCA is dedicated to increasing the participation of minority-owned, woman-owned, or locally based business enterprises, or we refer to them in terms of acronyms MWLBEs, on our SCA projects, including through MWLBE targets on our projects. We run a mentor program that's connected with this MWLBE program, which provides key support and access to capital and business opportunities for qualified emergency MWLBEs. It's been a successful program. It's been in place for almost 30 years with the SCA. The MWLBE program, the cost total was a little over $123 million. There were a total amount of 40 projects as part of this program. The total amount of MWLBE firms involved in District 20 in this program were 11. So now I turn to the proposed 5-year capital plan, fiscal year 2025-2029. And again, I have there's a picture here of the future PS 53. So the proposed 2025-2029 capital plan total amount is $17 billion. Capacity 4.98 billion. We call healthy schools 2.25 billion. Capital improvement $6.37 billion, mandated $3.40 billion. Proposed 2025-2029 citywide highlights: new capacity 4.13 billion. We also have electrification 1.4 billion. This is a new mayor's initiative in terms of converting old boiler projects, old boilers that are failing, to electrifying schools. Technology 1.25 billion, accessibility 800 million, physical education space upgrades 325 million, and 150 million for cafeteria enhancement experience. So capacity program 4.13 billion for new capacity, facility replacement 400 million, early education 200 million, capacity to remove temporary structures as TCUs 250 million, playground redevelopment. Healthy schools highlights: continuing investing, as I mentioned before, about electrifying existing facilities and addressing failing boilers to provide clean and environmentally friendly facilities. Creating health and nutrition learning spaces with a focus on underserved neighborhoods. More funding allocated to upgrade athletic fields, pools, gyms, and playgrounds, and continuing implementation for successful programs such as the cafeteria experience enhancement. Okay, exterior masonry projects. Right now, this CIP projects, and of course, let me just point out, this could change as we move along into the 4-year capital plan, the 2025-2029 plan. with plan amendments in the future. But right now we have a count of 1 exterior masonry project, 4 flood elimination projects, 2 parapet projects, school safety projects, and 2 roof projects. And we have the Community Education Council request form. Again, the dates to have your form to be submitted to the SCA is Friday, January 12th, 2024. So if there are any further questions, you can reach me as always at 718. I'm going to give you my cell number. It's probably easier to get me. So it's 347-539-0157. Our External Affairs Director, Yvette Knight, she's available at 718-472-8199. And the CEC Building Comment Form, 718-472-8709. So that completes my presentation this evening. Now I'm open to questions. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Steve. Steve, can you just say your cell phone one more time?
Sure.
Please?
Steve Gonzalez, External Affairs Manager. I cover South Brooklyn, District 20. Again, my number is 347-539-0157. My desk office number is 718-752-5046. And my email is sgonzalez with 2 Z's at nycsca.org. Thank you.
Steve.
No problem.
And the timing, just to repeat, the timing for the CEC is between, and for any principals on the line, between now and January 10th.
Yes. Yes.
Do you want to run through that, Steve?
Well,
I'm
well,
happy to.
well, again, the comments form, the CEC members, your first priorities, 5 priorities in order of importance, and any additional requests would go down on the form from 6 down to 25, but your top 5. Again, I would suggest in terms of anything that has to do with safety of the school. Exterior masonry could be a masonry building, anything to do with that has to do with safety. It could be bathrooms, auditoriums, as such. But anything that has to do with that is vital in terms of safety for the betterment of the school and the safety of the students and the staff, that would be my suggestion in terms of importance.
Yep.
And I mentioned this to to the principals who are on this call today, and I know there are a number of them there.
And the timing on that, so the CEC, we would like all principals to submit their requests by really by Tuesday, January 9th, because we have our meeting on January 10th, where we will vote on this form that is displayed on the screen. CEC members, anyone have questions for Steve? And I'm just looking at the chat. I see there's one question that Ellen asked.
I'll let you read it.
I think we got that answered. I'm just trying to read her answer. Ellen was just asking if PS 53 will be a self-contained D75 school.
No.
I answered no. No.
Well,
no.
there will. I don't believe there's D75 in that building because it's a very small building. I do not believe that there's D75.
That was my understanding as well.
Yeah, the others do have them, but not 53.
Right. Okay. And just to go over our process again for the principals who are on, we've sent out emails to all of you at this point with sort of an initial request. There's a Google form that's been created that the principal can submit those requests through. You can also submit requests. The principal can also email the CEC directly at our CEC20@schools.nyc.gov. The request has to come in from your principal, and it has to be either using the Google form or using an email from your principal. You can contact your CEC liaison if you have additional questions, additional follow-up. But the liaison cannot submit the request on behalf of the principal. The principal has to do that. So we have to have a record of that from the principal. I think that just about covers it.
Oh,
Well,
let me ask one question.
Sure. Go right ahead.
Oh, so the budget seems a little smaller than previously, like the 2025 to 2029. How much of the thing will actually be like paid for
Okay.
and funded?
Okay, so yes, the new capital plan is less than the other budget, and unfortunately, it was due to economic, downturn in the city. So it is funded at 17 billion. I would like to note, though, that could change depending on the economic climate in our plan amendments, because we will have amendments every year. And I'll give you an example. In 2018, we rolled out a 17 billion, same amount, $17 billion plan for 2020, 2024. That has since increased up to $19.4 billion. So that could change. So we're keeping our fingers crossed for next year and for subsequent plan amendments.
And is cameras included into this into the budget? Are they included into this funding?
I would believe so. Yes.
Exterior cameras.
Yes, they would be. They're the
Okay,
IP
thank you.
DVS cameras. Yes, they would be.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good questions, Elizabeth. Any other questions, CEC members? And you can always reach out to, I've done this process a number of years now, and any questions, feel free to reach out to Steve Gonzalez, reach out to
Absolutely.
myself.
Please.
We can, it'll be the next month, we'll get this all taken care of. So, all right, I think that does it for the special meeting.
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving us
thank
the
you, Steve.
opportunity to work this out and to meet on this date and at this time. And I wish again everybody a very happy holiday.
Great, same to you, Steve.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Bye-bye now.
everyone. Interpreters, you are dismissed. Thank you for your service. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Yep, good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.